Hello. I wonder if you can hear, it is currently hailing. So that's fun. That's how you know it's almost spring. At least like where I live. So today I am very excited about this idea. So whenever we did like standardized testing in school, I feel like, sorry, it's really hailing. I'll wait for the hail to stop for the actual beef of the video. The script was always the exact same for all standardized testing. I remember I heard it so many times, and whenever someone would have a nice voice, I always found it so like ASMR inducing and relaxing, just like the repetitiveness, it's just such a script. Something I've always noticed, like for the proctor things, I just find that there's like a huge percentage of them that were like nervous, like it's their first time doing it. Like even if it wasn't, there were so many people that were like, it was like they were like gripped with like panic and like they were like terrified of doing something wrong. I don't know what they're like telling those people, the people who sign up to be proctors. I don't know what they would tell them in training, but it had the vibe of like a civilian having to do like a CIA mission for the first time and just like being thrown into, I don't know. It's such an odd vibe. But the ones that were like relaxed and like confident, very ASMR inducing. When I looked up the script for it, the first result was for digital. This is for the PSAT specifically, and the first result was for digital standardized testing for digital PSAT on the computers, which really freaked me out because when I was in school, all standardized testing, so like after an AP class, like the college level test, PSAT, SAT, ACT, everything, just like any standardized testing was always on paper with a number 2 pencil, and usually would have like the scorecard that you fill out. So it just made me feel old. Like I know it was inevitable that they were going to do it on computers eventually, but this script is for the paper version because the computer one freaked me out, and I wanted this one for the nostalgia. My dad also printed it. He's wonderful, but he printed it like this instead of big and vertical, but it's okay, we'll make it work. Just waiting the hail out. It's gonna be sunny again in like 3 minutes. I think I've said this in another video, but the rattling sound is it's my fireplace for some reason. Every time it rains really hard or hails, it's hitting something in there or the chimney or something. It's like a metal rattling noise. Okay, I think it's just raining now. Alright, so let's get started. I'm gonna timestamp this for the people who skipped the intro, so welcome back if you skipped the intro. Alright, let's get started. Welcome to the PSAT 10 administration. This test will focus on what you've already been learning throughout high school. It's also a chance to practice for the SAT, see where you might need to improve, and qualify for scholarship programs. Before we begin the test, I'm going to read some instructions. Please listen carefully and raise your hand if you have any questions. Remember, my role is to make sure you have the best opportunity to demonstrate your skills and knowledge. For today's test, you may only use a number 2 pencil to mark your answer sheet. Mechanical pencils are not allowed. Please raise your hand if you do not have a number 2 pencil, and I will give you one. College Board PSAT 10 terms and conditions include rules and policies to make sure all students have a fair and equal test experience. If anyone disturbs others or tries to gain an unfair advantage, I'll ask them to leave the room and their scores will be cancelled. They may also be prevented from taking other College Board tests in the future. Here are some examples of unfair advantages. Giving or receiving help of any kind on the test. looking through the test book before time starts, looking at any section or test other than the one we're currently on, marking or changing answers after time is called, attempting to remove test materials from the testing room, possessing a phone or any unauthorized testing aid during testing or during breaks, using an answer key or sharing answers with anyone during or after the test, going to a locker or leaving the building during the test, attempting to take the test for someone else, eating or drinking during testing without an approved accommodation to do so, causing a disturbance, failing to follow testing procedures. These policies help make sure your testing experience today is fair and that you can focus on your own test without distractions. By this time, you should have turned in all phones and any other electronic devices. If anyone still has an electronic device of any kind, including a smartwatch or fitness tracker, please disable any alarms, power it off, and turn it into me now. It will be returned to you after the test. Any electronic device that isn't turned off or put away may be collected and its contents inspected as part of an investigation. If you are seen with a device or your device makes a noise or creates a disturbance while in your possession, I will have to dismiss you from testing. From this point on, I will dismiss any student that I see with a phone, smartwatch, or other electronic device. Thank you for paying attention to these instructions so far. Now we're going to prepare to start the test. Remove everything from your desk except your number 2 pencils, acceptable calculator, and backup calculator if you have one. If you're using printed test directions, keep them on your desk as well. If you brought extra batteries, drinks, or snacks, put them on the floor under your desk. If you have any bags or backpacks remaining at your desk, close them and put them to the side of the room until testing is over. Please sit quietly while I take a moment to look around and make sure you're all using acceptable calculators. Please remember, you may not share or exchange calculators at any time. Put your calculators under your desks now. You will not need them until a later section. Now I distribute the answer sheets. These are the answer sheets that you'll use to mark your answers on the test. If you're using a large print answer sheet, please read the directions on page 1 of your answer sheet about how to mark your answers. Your page numbers will be different from the ones I announced, but the field numbers will be the same as the field numbers I give for everyone. You'll mark the squares with an X instead of filling in bubbles. Raise your hand if you need assistance at any time. Some of you may already have a label and/or printed and bubbled information on the answer sheet I just gave you. If that's the case, please make sure the information on your answer sheet is correct. If it's correct, please sit quietly for a few minutes while I direct other students to fill out the required fields on their answer sheets. If any information on your answer sheet is incorrect, raise your hand. If you need to complete fields on the answer sheet, begin with field 1. Fill in your legal last name, first name, and middle initial if you have one, as they appear on your label if you have one. Include spaces, hyphens, or apostrophes if these are part of your name. Print the letters in all caps in the boxes, then fill in the corresponding bubbles. Make sure each mark is dark and completely fills the bubble. Your first name must be your legal first name. If you use a preferred first name and you have a College Board online account, you can enter it there. College Board uses your legal name on test day to confirm your identity, but they'll use your preferred first name in other communications with you. In field 2, if you attend this school, print our 6-digit school code, which is on the whiteboard, and fill in the corresponding bubbles. If you don't regularly attend this school, raise your hand and I'll come over to assist you. Look up when you're done. In field 3, if you attend this school, fill in the bubble for yes. Anyone who doesn't regularly attend this school should fill in the bubble that applies to you. Raise your hand if you have any questions. In field 4, if you attend this school, print our school's name, city, and state. If you don't regularly attend this school, raise your hand and I'll come over to assist you. Look up when you're done. In field 5, print and bubble in your student ID number, starting with the first column to the left. If there are letters in your ID number, skip them and only enter the numerals. If you don't know your student ID number, raise your hand. Look up when you're done. In Field 6, fill in your current grade. Complete Field 7. For your date of birth, fill in the month, day, and last 2 digits of the year you were born. Start with a 0 if filling in a 1-digit number. Fill in the corresponding bubbles and look up when you're done. Sorry students, it's raining quite a bit outside, so hopefully that noise on the roof is not too distracting. I will now distribute your test books. Do not open them until I tell you to. Everyone gets their book. Turn your test book over and read the back cover. It has important information about the test and how to properly mark your answers. Are there any questions about what you just read? On the back of the test book, clearly print your name, this school's code, which is on the whiteboard, and name, and this room's testing code or name, which I've posted for you on the whiteboard as well. It's important that you follow the directions for marking your answers so your answer sheet can be scored. I'm going to emphasize the most important points to make sure they're clear. Please listen carefully. Mark all of your answers on the answer sheet. You may use your test book for scratch work, but only answers marked on the answer sheet can be scored, unless you're approved to mark them in the test book. After time has been called, you may not transfer answers from your textbook to your answer sheet or fill in bubbles. Make sure you use a number 2 pencil. Don't use a pen, a colored pencil, or a mechanical pencil. Mark one answer for each question and fill in the bubbles on the answer sheet darkly and completely. Don't fold your answer sheet back on itself, and don't make any marks on your answer sheet other than your answers. Stray marks on your answer sheet will interfere with scoring. If you erase, do so completely. Incomplete erasures may be scored as intended answers. Now, please find the certification statement on the back of your answer sheet. By signing the statement, you are agreeing not to share any test content with anyone through any means, including but not limited to email, text messages, internet posts, or other use of the internet. Doing so may result in score cancellation or other possible sanction. These conditions are spelled out in the PSAT 10 student guide. Read the statement and the information on your answer sheet, then sign your full name as you would on an official document. Under your signature, print your name and enter today's date. Put your pencil down when you are finished. Find Field A on the back of your answer sheet. If you're using a large print answer sheet, Field A is on page 7. Find the form code on the back of the test format you're testing with, that is, your test book, reader's script provided to your human reader, braille book, or flash drive package. Copy the form exactly as it appears on your test into Field A on your answer sheet and fill in the appropriate bubbles. Please look up when you are finished. Find Field B. Find the test ID on the back of the test format you're testing with, that is, your test book, reader's script provided to your human reader, braille book, or flash drive package. Copy the test ID exactly as it appears on your test into Field B on your answer sheet and fill in the appropriate bubbles. Please look up when you are finished. Look at the front cover of your test book or other test format. Find the number in the upper right corner labeled Test Book Serial Number. Enter your serial number into Field C on your answer sheet and fill in the corresponding bubbles. To prevent problems with getting your scores, check the form code, test ID, and test book serial number fields to make sure you enter them correctly. In Field D on your answer sheet, fill in the 3-digit testing room code that I have posted. You'll begin the test in just a few minutes after I read a few final instructions. During testing, keep your answer sheet and test book flat on your desk. If you find something wrong with your answer sheet or test book, such as a missing page, or if you realize that you have been writing answers in the wrong section of your answer sheet, raise your hand. Answer sheets and textbooks and test books must never be removed from the testing room. The test is timed by section. You'll have breaks during the test when you can leave the room to have a snack or use the restroom. I'll walk around the room to make sure everyone is working on the correct section. For the PSAT 10, you can only work on one section at a time. You are not allowed to move to the next section until you're told to do so. This may be different from what you're used to, so make sure not to move ahead or look back to a previous section, even if you finish the current section early. Once the test has ended, please stay seated until I dismiss you. If you have any questions, you may ask them now. We'll start testing with Section 1, the reading test. Once we begin, you'll have 60 minutes to work on Section 1. We'll have a short break after the section is over. I'll post the start and stop times, and I'll let you know when we're about halfway through the section and when 5 minutes are left. Please open your answer sheet to Section 1. Don't start work until I tell you to. Keep your answer sheet and test book flat on your desk. Don't fold pages back. Be sure to mark your answers in Section 1 of the answer sheet, and check that your answers are in the right spaces for each numbered question. If you skip a question to come back to it later, make sure you leave that line blank on the answer sheet. If you change your response, erase it as completely as possible. If you finish before I call time, you may check your work in this section, but you may not go to any other section of the test. You won't lose points for incorrect answers, so try to answer every question, even if you're not sure of the correct answer. Now, open your test book to Section 1. Read the directions and begin work. Good luck, everyone. Okay, you have 30 minutes remaining in Section 1. You have 5 minutes remaining in Section 1. Stop work and put your pencil down. Place your answer sheet on the page in your test book where you stopped working. Close your test book and leave it on your desk. We'll stop now for a 5-minute break. Please listen carefully to these rules. Don't discuss the test questions with anyone or access any kind of electronic device during this break or any other break during the test. If you need to leave the room, only go to designated areas, the hallway, or the restroom. Snacks and drinks are only allowed in designated areas. Please be considerate of students working in other rooms and don't talk in the hallway. We'll start testing again in exactly 5 minutes. Please take your seat. Don't open any section of the test until I tell you to. We'll continue testing with Section 2, the writing and language test. Once we begin, you'll have 35 minutes to work on Section 2. I'll post the start and stop times, and I'll let you know when we're about halfway through the section and when 5 minutes are left. Find Section 2 on your answer sheet. Don't start work until I tell you to. Keep your answer sheet and test book flat on your desk. Don't fold pages back. Be sure to mark your answers in Section 2 of the answer sheet and check that your answers are in the right spaces for each numbered question. If you finish before I call time, you may check your work in this section, but you may not go to any other section of the test. Now open your test book to Section 2, read the directions, and begin work. Time starts now. You have 20 minutes remaining in Section 2. You have 5 minutes remaining in Section 2. Stop work and put your pencil down. Place your answer sheet on the page in your test book where you stopped working. Close your test book and leave it on your desk. We'll continue testing with Section 3, the math test without calculator. Once we begin, you'll have 25 minutes to work on Section 3. We'll have a short break after the section is over. I will post the start and stop times, and I'll let you know when we're about halfway through the section and when 5 minutes are left. Find Section 3 on your answer sheet. Don't start work until I tell you to. Keep your answer sheet and test book flat on your desk. Don't fold pages back. Be sure to mark your answers in Section 3 of the answer sheet and check that your answers are in the right spaces for each numbered question. Most questions are multiple choice, but the last few questions are student-produced responses. Directions for filling in your answers to these questions are in your test book. You'll never need more than 4 spaces to record your answer, although some answers might not use all 4 spaces. Although this is a math section, you're not allowed to use a calculator on this portion of the test. Please keep your calculator under your desk unless you are approved to use a 4-function calculator as an accommodation. If you finish before I call time, you may check your work on this section, but you may not go to any other section of the test. Now open your test book to section 3. Read the directions and begin work. Time starts now. You have 15 minutes remaining in section 3. You have 5 minutes remaining in section 3. Stop work and put your pencil down. Place your answer sheet on the page in your test book where you stopped working. Close your test book and leave it on your desk. We will stop now for a short break. For the break, if you brought a snack, you may eat it in designated areas only. As before, if you need to leave the room, don't go anywhere other than designated areas, the hallway, or the restroom. Don't talk in the hallway, discuss the test questions with anyone, or access any type of electronic device during the break. We'll start testing again at exactly 5 minutes. Please take your seat. Don't open any section of the test until I tell you to. We'll continue testing with section 4, the math test with calculator. Once we begin, you'll have 45 minutes to work on section 4. I will post the start and stop times, and I'll let you know when we're about halfway through the section and when 5 minutes are left. You may use a calculator for this section. If you have a calculator, please remove any cover and put the calculator on your desk now. Keep the calculator cover on the floor under your desk during testing. Even though you're allowed to use a calculator for this section, all the questions can be answered without a calculator. If you use a calculator, remember to follow these guidelines. Keep your calculator flat on your desk or hold it so that other students can't view your work. Do not share or exchange your calculator. If you have a backup calculator or batteries, keep them on the floor under your desk. If your calculator may have malfunctions and you have batteries or a backup calculator, raise your hand. I'll come over to assist you. If you do not have a backup, continue the test and do the best you can. Find section 4 on your answer sheet. Don't start work until I tell you to. Keep your answer sheet and test book flat on your desk. Don't fold pages back. Be sure to mark your answers in section 4 of the answer sheet and check that your answers are in the right spaces for each numbered question. Most questions are multiple choice, but the last few questions are student-produced responses. Fill these out just like you did with the last section. If you finish before I call time, you may check your work in this section, but you may not go to any other section of the test. Now open your test book to section 4, read the directions, and begin work. Time starts now. You have 25 minutes remaining in section 4. You have 5 minutes remaining in section 4. Stop work and put your pencil down. Close your answer sheet so that page 1 is on top. Close your test book. Before I collect your test materials, please turn your answer sheet over. If you're using a large print answer sheet, turn to page 7. Check that you have filled in the form code in field A. This form code is required for scoring your test. Check that you have also completed fields B and C. Please raise your hand if you need help completing any fields. Congratulations, you just finished the test. Please remain in your seats until I dismiss you. I will now collect your test books. Please keep your answer sheets flat on your desks and sit quietly. If you still have personal non-test information to fill out on your answer sheet, please place your answer sheet face down on your desk. Sit quietly and do not write anything on the answer sheet while I dismiss other students. In a few minutes, I'll help you complete your answer sheets. If you have already completed all the non-test information on your answer sheet, place your answer sheet face up on your desk. Please sit quietly until I dismiss you. If you need to finish completing the answer sheet, take out the booklet that I gave you. Follow along in this booklet as I read instructions to you. Open your answer sheet to page 2. If your answer sheet has a label that includes your home address, confirm that your address is correct. If your address is correct on the label, you can skip fields 9 through 13. If you see any errors in your address or you don't have a label with your address, you'll need to fill in your correct address on the answer sheet. Follow the directions in your booklet to write in and bubble your address in fields 9 through 13. Raise your hand if you have questions. If your address changes, you can always update it through your College Board account. Field 14 asks for your mobile number. Only U.S. mobile numbers are accepted. This field is optional. If you agree to the terms printed on your answer sheet, enter your phone number. Please look up when you're done. Field 15 asks if you want to participate in College Board's Student Search Service. This service can help you connect with opportunities. Saying yes to Student Search Service allows colleges, nonprofit scholarship programs, and other education organizations to send you information about the educational and financial aid opportunities they offer. Follow the directions in your student answer sheet instructions booklet to fill in Field 15. Raise your hand if you have questions. Your answers to the questions in Fields 16 through 21 will help ensure that tests and services are fair and useful to all students. Your responses may be used for research purposes and may be shared with your high school, school district, and state. For this reason, we strongly encourage all students to complete this section. Your answers to the questions in Fields 16, 18, 21, and 22 may be shared with colleges, scholarships, and other educational programs if you chose yes for Student Search Service in Field 15. Fields 16 through 22 are optional. If your parent or guardian has told you that you shouldn't complete any optional or voluntary information, please just sit quietly as we go through these fields. Do not complete any field that asks for information your parent or guardian has told you not to provide. Now, read the information in the student answer sheet instructions booklet to answer questions 16 through 21. Look up when you're done. Now, read the information. Find field 22 on the back of your answer sheet. Read the information about providing your email address. If you decide to provide an email address, fill in the bubble to indicate whether the email address is yours or a parent's or guardian's. College Board will use the email address to send information, such as when your scores are available online. If you opted in to Student Search Service, you may also get information from colleges sent to this email address. Look up when you're done. We are now finished with completing your personal information. Please close your answer sheet. Place your answer sheet and student answer sheet instructions booklet face up on your desk. Please sit quietly until I dismiss you. Remember, you must not, under any circumstances, take any test content from the testing room or discuss or share test content with anyone through any means, including email, text messages, or the internet. As I said at the beginning of the test, if a person violates any of these policies related to test security, their scores will be canceled and they may be prevented from taking other College Board tests in the future. You will be notified when your scores are available and of how to access your complete score report online. You'll also be able to link to Khan Academy for free personalized SAT practice based on your specific test results. Please wait in your seat until I dismiss your row. At that point, you may gather your belongings. As you leave, please be considerate of people still working in other rooms. Again, congratulations on your hard work today. You are dismissed. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I was really excited about this idea because I just always found it so just cozy in an ASMR way. Unless they were nervous, which a lot of them were, but whatever. It's just the script itself is so scripted. I love it. But yes, I hope that if, you know what, well, let's actually pull a paper, because like why not, you know? This will be your test result. Okay, here's your test result. Your test result is this is kind of funny. Your interests and comfort media are here for you. I think what I mean by that is that to remember that you have something to turn to in the form of interests and comfort media. Just like to think of it as like a tool in your pocket that you can go to on purpose when you're feeling stressed out. Like, it doesn't always have to be an escape. You can be like, okay, I want to feel calmer right now. I am going to choose to do this thing that makes me calmer. That's what I meant with that weird phrasing. But yes, I hope that if you are going to bed, you are feeling more relaxed and cozy, ready to sleep. I hope you have a calm and peaceful night with good dreams. And if you are trying to focus and get stuff done, I hope you are able to get done everything that you want to. And if you're not, I hope you don't beat yourself up about it, because that's the most important part, and you still deserve to do fun things. And yes, I hope, above all else, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day/night.